Oh boy. This is my second Lea Michelle video, and hopefully it's my last. But can we talk about the New York Times article that just came out? Let me take a drink. Hello, darlings, and welcome to Take Care, Darling. It's me, your modern day fairy godmother, and we're talking about the article that came out for Lea Michele before she goes on to be Fanny Bryce in Funny Girl. Now, before I get into it, I do want to say this. I know that my last video on Lea is the most popular video on this channel, and that's not what I don't want to be a drama channel, and this is the last video that I will be doing that I think is dramatic or is confrontational and stuff, because I want my stuff to be more uplifting. I'm not about the cancel culture. I don't believe in it. I feel like when people are canceled, they're not canceled. And if you say, well, this person went to jail, that's not canceling someone. That's called breaking the law and going to jail. I think people that are canceled come back. I'm not about canceling someone, I'm about accountability. I wasn't planning on doing this video at all. I just read the article and it did make me upset, because I feel a sense that Lea hasn't really taken accountability. She hasn't grown as a person, and yet this article feels like it's damage control. So let's go ahead and read it together and let me know what you think of this article. I'm definitely going to be saying what I think. Lea Michele is well aware that the pressure is on. She's landed her dream role in Funny Girl. Now she's tasked with rescuing the faltering Broadway show and proving that she is not the person she once was. And I thought, oh, she's going to discuss the whole Twitter debacle. Finally, we're going to discuss it, have accountability, and then move forward. The director, Michael Mayer, suggested that she watch Funny Girl, which he explained was about a performer learning not to let a man drag her down. Funny Girl is based on Fanny Bryce, who broke the beauty standard mold, and through her own gumption and self-motivation was able to be the greatest star. But of course, once you get everything, it doesn't mean you have everything. And finding the beauty within yourself. That's how I didn't think it was about a man, but maybe that's just me. Let me know what you think. I gave it her as kind of comfort, Mayer said in a phone interview. Last month, you got this great career. You're the lead in this significant new musical, and you're young still. Michelle watched the movie that night dazzled. She watched it again the next night, resolving to one day land the lead role of Fanny Bryce. A few weeks later, she gushed about Funny Girl and its star Barbra Streisand at dinner with a television producer, Ryan Murphy, who went on to create a new series, Glee, with Michelle in mind. Can you see how already she's talking about Barbra Streisand? First off, okay, be fair, Carolyn. Barbra Streisand is amazing. Barbra Streisand is Funny Girl. It is hard to not see Barbara as Fanny Bryce. Really complicated to redo Funny Girl, because when you have perfection, how do you outdo perfection? Doesn't mean you can't put your own twist to it and your own interpretation to it, but if you're trying to make a carbon copy, that is the first way to fail. This is where it gets meta. Sorry, Carolyn. No, be nice. This is where it gets meta. Playing a Glee club captain who graduates to become a striving theater actress, Michelle's character lands her dream role in the first Broadway revival of Funny Girl since its debut in 1964. By the way, in case you're confused, they're talking about the show Glee, of that's why they're like, it's so meta. I would consider myself a Glee. I loved it. I love theater, and to see them do this show, I really enjoyed it. What made the show so significant and so, oh my gosh, this is amazing, is the fact that their characters is a representation of themselves. So for example, Chris Colfer, who plays Kurt Hummel, when he auditioned, he was originally auditioning for a different character, and because he is so unique and so talented, they said, you're not getting this role, but we're completely writing a role for you. As the seasons went on, they were putting a lot of their real life things into a character. Murphy's plan to transfer Michelle's Fanny Bryce from TV screen to stage never materialized, but on Tuesday, a tale that feels to many like life imitating art culminates with Michelle's first performance as Bryce, a 20th century Jewish performer at August Wilson Theater. Like the two other actresses who occupied the lead role this year, first Beanie Feldstein, then her standby Julie Benko. By the way, I want to insert some Julie Benko clips here.
The greatest star I am by far, but no one knows it. We're the luckiest people in the world, and the greatest.
She is the perfect Fanny Bryce. Michelle must seek to avoid the shadow of Streisand's star-making performance in the original musical and movie. Unlike the other actresses, Michelle, 36, must contend with another shadow, her past self. 2 years ago, she faced a wave of criticism from former colleagues who publicly accused her of bullying behavior and a prima donna attitude. And she must step into a show whose behind-the-scenes machinations, and cast changes have been one of the juiciest running stories on Broadway this summer, prompting reams of coverage and gossip. Okay, so here's a quote. "I feel more ready than I ever have before, both personally and professionally," Michelle said in an interview 3 weeks before her debut. She spoke from a dressing room vacated by the actress Jane Lynch, who ended her run as Bryce's mother earlier than planned, ensuring that the former Glee co-stars would never perform together on stage. Now, when that happened, Jane Lynch left before Lea came in, and everyone was like, this is very telling, which it is. And Jane Lynch came out to say, oh no, I'm so proud of her. This is what she's always wanted. Now, how I take that, let me know what you think. I take that as her saying, I just want to be, diplomatic about this. I don't want any drama. I'm just moving forward. The same way that Beanie said, I decided to leave the show. And then Beanie responded saying, the show's going a different way. Yeah, they saw Lea in and you out. So I think everyone is just trying to leave in the most mature way so nothing happens to their career. I'm not buying it. The allegations prompted an intense time of reflection about her conduct at work, Michelle said, which she believes has equipped her to be a part of and lead a Broadway company for the first time since leaving Spring Awakening in 2008. I really understand the importance and value now of being a leader, she said. It means not only going and doing a good job when the camera's rolling, but also when it's not. And that wasn't always the most important thing to me. It's like, oh, now that I got in trouble, I now know what it means to be a leader since I can't be a prima donna. For Michelle, who temporarily stepped away from performing after the birth of her son Ever in 2020, I'm not gonna lie, I love that name. The explosive internet reaction to her Funny Girl casting was not perhaps the return to Broadway narrative she had imagined. I wonder why. I feel like a crazy person. Other people from the cast of Glee were saying, no, this is what she's really like. We've seen nothing to show how she's grown as a person. Now she's being awarded the lead we all know as being a Gleek is her dream. She's awarded her dream. What is this? Before the news was announced, Feldstein, who had generally received underwhelming reviews in the role, said on Instagram in July that she would be leaving the show 2 months earlier than expected, writing that the production had decided to take the show in a different direction. See what I mean? Okay. The announcement fueled speculation that Feldstein's departure had something to do with Lea Michele, yes, who was rumored to be taking over the park. This is what the part. Rebuked of Michelle's resurfaced online with some questioning whether she should have been offered the role at all. To go back to June 2020 after Michelle tweeted a message with Black Lives Matter hashtag Samantha Marie Ware, a black actress who appeared on Glee, said Michelle had been responsible for traumatic microaggressions toward her, saying that Michelle had threatened to get her fired and made a humiliating remark in front of the castmates. I believe the remark was she said that she was going to in her wig. So a deluge of criticism followed, including from former Glee actors who described Michelle as exclusionary and demeaning to colleagues. The meal kit company HelloFresh saying it does not condone racism nor discrimination of any kind, ended its partnership with her. Another co-star from Glee, Heather Morris, tweeted at the same time that it had been very unpleasant to work with Michelle, writing that for Lea to treat others with the disrespect that she did for as long as she did, I believe she should be called out. Morris did not respond to interview requests. Why should she? Heather Morris isn't the person to have the podium to go up and say, hey, this is why this, because then people will say, well, Heather's not doing much right now. And Heather is just trying to get her fame back and trying to stay relevant. It's not about that. She went on her own account. She went on Twitter and she just said, yeah, I agree with what other people are saying. And she doesn't need to go on New York Times to repeat it. She already said it. Other people already agreed. In my head, this is being like, oh, well, she said it, but I guess she doesn't want to back it up. What does she have to back up? Michelle apologized in 2020 for her past behavior. I want to see this apology. Okay, here it is. This is her apology. I apologize for my behavior and for any pain which I have caused, Michelle posted in a lengthy statement on Instagram. One of the most important lessons of the last few weeks is that we need to take the time to listen and learn about other people's perspectives and any role we have played or anything we can do to help address the injustices that they face. And then here's another apology. She wrote, while I don't remember ever making this specific statement, that was about the shit in the wig. I have never judged others by their background or color of their skin. That's not really the point. What matters is that I clearly acted in ways which hurt other people. I bet she's thinking, I'm not racist. I treated everyone like shit. Sorry. Whether it was my privileged position and perspective that caused me to be perceived as insensitive or inappropriate at times, or whether it was just my immaturity and me just being unnecessarily difficult, I apologize for my behavior and for any pain which I have caused. We all can grow and change, and I have definitely used these past several months to reflect my own shortcomings. So at the time she was pregnant. I am a couple months from becoming a mother, and I know I need to keep working to better myself and take responsibility for my actions so that I can be a real role model for my child, and so I can pass along my lessons and mistakes so that they can learn from me. I listen to these criticisms and I am learning, and while I am very sorry, I will be better in the future from this experience. The thing I'm also not seeing is her reaching out to Samantha to talk to her and apologize. I don't know about you, but in my head, I'm like, there's no way that she wrote this alone. I think it was more, hey, what can we stitch all together so then we could just call it a day and move forward? And let's put in that I'm about to be a mom because no one can get mad at a pregnant lady. There's a lot of words and no actions, and it's lip service, to put it simply. Michelle apologized in 2020 for her past behavior. In the interview last month, she declined to address the specifics of Ware's account, saying she doesn't feel the need to handle things through the media. True, I do agree with that. Ware declined to comment, but shortly after Michelle's Funny Girl casting was announced, Ware posted a tweet in which she said, yes, Broadway upholds whiteness. I don't know. You guys probably have different opinions. I don't think that was fair of her to say that. I think I would have said interesting and let other people say what they had to say. Do I think that Lea should have been offered the role? No. It feels like this is Michelle's world and things happen, but whatever, I'll still get what I want, versus someone else where they have been attacked and scrutinized. Oh, you complained? Well, then you will definitely not get anything, because now you are seen as being dramatic and that you're going to cause a fuss if something goes wrong. You're a whistleblower, and we don't need that. Yes, Broadway upholds whiteness. Her account and tweet have since been made private. Michelle now acknowledges that her work style is intense, sometimes to a fault. I have an edge to me. I work really hard. I leave no room for mistakes, she said. That level of perfectionism, or that pressure of perfectionism, left me with a lot of blind spots. I'm going to skip ahead. It's just about how she got started on Broadway at a very young age, and how a pressure of being a kid, she must be perfect. Groff comes in saying there was something embarrassing because she had to show her chest while they were in Spring Awakening and people were laughing. And she really cares a lot what other people think of her, especially her performances and what she does. If people don't react the way that I believe they should, she has a hard time with it, which I think is awful. I'm not making fun of that. That's got to be really tough to go through. Groff, who formed a close bond with Michelle during the run, remembers Michelle being upset by the uncomfortable laughter that beating scene would elicit from audiences. It would really crush her, he said. Oh gosh, are we not doing the scene well enough? The people are laughing. Groff was the person who invited her to dinner with Murphy, setting the stage for Michelle's Glee role at 22. Michelle became known to the world as Rachel Berry, an anal retentive high school Glee club member whose middle name, Barbara, is after a certain Brooklyn-born diva. By the time Berry lands the funny girl role in the series, her affinity for the musical is well established, having already sung Don't Rain on My Parade and the movie specific My Man. In the show's 5th season, Berry belts I'm the greatest star on a Broadway stage with Lynch watching from the audience. I love that they didn't say Lynch leaving the audience. I do love that scene. Let's play Lea Michelle's audition and her interview talking about her audition for Rachel Berry.
And I auditioned back in August for Glee, and my first audition was a disaster. First I went in and the piano player messed up my song.
We have to go back to the second verse.
I got so nervous and freaked out. Then they were laughing at this scene that in my mind was serious, and so then I turned to everybody at the table and I was like,
This isn't supposed to be funny, that was my serious part. I'm gonna do it again and I want you all to cry.
and then they kept laughing. So I left and I thought that it went terribly. Little did I know, throughout my audition, I was kind of doing a lot of what was and became Rachel Berry.
So similar to what Groff was saying, was she would be confused at, this is what I thought they were supposed to react and they're not doing it. I'm terrible. She's stuck in her world. And you know what? Sadly, I think she is really mean to herself. I could have done better. I could have done this. But she probably also is, I was amazing. I was a star. What I didn't know that the article pointed out, Ryan Murphy was already talking to her before Glee happened and had her in mind to create this character. And the fact that they had Rachel Barbara Berry, they purposely put Barbra Streisand. It is known that Rachel Berry loves Barbra Streisand. I think she fell in love with Barbara versus loving Funny Girl, and then she's on Broadway and she's like, what's the closest I can get to being Barbara is to be Funny Girl on Broadway. They haven't done it and I got the pipes to do it. You can be forgiven for mixing up which plot's points belong to Michelle and which to Berry. It all kind of morphed together a little bit, Michelle said. In a moment of Rachel Berry-like perfectionism, she admitted that during a Glee concert tour, she asked that Don't Rain on My Parade be removed from the set list because she had messed up during a live performance. Behind the scenes, Michelle said she was getting a quick education on addiction while dating Corey Monteith. Her co-star, who had long struggled with substance abuse. Monteith died in 2013 of a combination of heroin and alcohol, devastating Michelle and other cast members. I remember that. I skipped that week because I couldn't even handle watching that episode of, that Finn passed away. I'm being so repetitive, but again, see what I mean? They take real life instances and they put it in the show. And I think that's why as a Gleek, we were so invested because it was so real. Not long after Michelle got within reach of her dream role as Murphy snagged the rights to Broadway revival of Funny Girl, it was a difficult time, Michelle said, and she felt uncertain about the plan because she had just performed many of the show's songs on TV. It didn't feel like there was anything new that I could bring, she said. The new emotional material came in the years since, when, as Bryce does in the show's second act, Michelle got married and had a child, reordering her priorities. Her friends started to notice changes. Groff recalled that at Michelle's wedding to Zandy Rake, a businessman in 2019, Murphy, who officiated, told a story about his first dinner with them as a couple. According to Groff, Murphy lightheartedly said, "This was the first time I've had dinner with Lea where the main topic of the conversation wasn't about her, what she wanted to do next creatively." A representative for Murphy said was unable to comment the story. You know what? This couple is truly special. It was the first time that during dinner we didn't talk about Lea. It's Lea's world. So Michelle gave birth to Ever the next year after months of pregnancy, complications, just talking about her son being born. It says that she wasn't ready to go back to work. After the show cast Feldstein, Mayer had a conversation with Michelle to explain the decision. "I said, look, I know this probably isn't what you want to hear, but this is what we're doing," Mayer remembered telling Michelle. Why is it Mayer needs to go tell Lea Michele? Down the road, he added, "I would love to do Funny Girl with you sometime." Michelle said she had not been set on returning to Broadway until November 2021, when she performed in a one-night-only Spring Awakening reunion concert. Around that time, she said she had another conversation with Mayer in which she said that if Feldstein's run ended and they wanted a replacement, she would be honored to step in. Does anyone else get the feeling that she said that and they're like, awesome, bye Beanie? After Feldstein initially announced her planned departure in June, the wheels for Michelle to take over were set in motion, Mayer said. He added that he loved Feldstein's performance and stands by her 100%. Yeah, what's he gonna say? She was awful. Thank goodness Lea's here. Also, didn't he make the casting choice? So if he was like, yeah, that was a mistake, then that just shows like you made a mistake, sir. Asked why Feldstein decided to leave earlier than expected, and he said he was unsure. Maybe it's the fact he said, Lea's gonna come and replace you. So it was fun while it lasted, but bye. I haven't spoken to her about it, Mayer said. I wonder why. I think it was hard for her once she knew she was going to be leaving and that someone else was taking over. A representative of Feldstein didn't respond or comment. Like, am I crazy? I feel like it's just so obvious, but okay. Mayer said Michelle's deal went through relatively quickly because she and Feldstein had the same agent who already knew the details around the show. By late July, Michelle was in the rehearsal room. Banco took over as Bryce for the month of August with the assurance she'd perform one show a week in the role after Michelle's debut. On one of Michelle's first days with the full cast, she sang Don't Rain on My Parade on stage, and an ensemble member, Leslie Blake Walker, said she remembered watching her perform the song on Glee, Walker's first exposure to Funny Girl. Rehearsing The Greatest Star on stage last month, Michelle played Bryce with the character's feverish energy dialed up a bit higher than the two Fannies before her this year. The comedy was her way of taking things to the extreme, grabbing a fistful of Jared Grimes' sweatshirt when trying to convince him of her talent, hoisting herself on top of the piano, as Mayer suggested, standing partially on the keys. I'm going to say, I don't think Lea Michele's funny. You know how they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I guess comedy is different for everyone. I think she is the joke versus being part of the joke. I think when I think of Fanny Bryce, I do think of someone with great comedic timing, and she did things outside of the box that people didn't see before, especially if you're going to a Ziegfeld show and then this woman comes out to make kind of fun of the girls, but it's all in good humor. Like her predecessors, has tried to remove the pressure of the comparison, saying, I will never be as good as Barbra Streisand. Whatever performance she delivers, it will not be eligible for a Tony, only the originating actress in that production. Feldstein can be considered for the award. Yeah, she was sick and they're like, hey, let's put Lea Michele in there because we already know that she's going to be the next funny girl. Hey, Lea, can you do this? You know what? You should be Fanny Bryce. And it's perfect because Beanie just announced that she'll be leaving. Thank goodness you're here to save the day. I'm like, no, this was all already known and planned. And then I'm just going to skip ahead. They talk about, oh, the ticket prices are going down, but ticket prices are going up because she's coming in. Prices have now skyrocketed for Michelle's debut. The most expensive ticket on her first night is more than $2,600 as of Wednesday. Despite the evident star power, Michelle seems aware that she should avoid behaving like a diva. You think? Everyone here has been through a lot, and I just have to come in and be prepared and do a good job and be respectful of the fact that this is their space, she said. Fair, yes, true. A humbling element of the process is that she had to learn how to tap dance from square one, practicing with a nursery rhyme, and she cried. She too has struggled. She doesn't know how to tap dance. Still, Michelle admits that she only just learning how to be publicly vulnerable. Online hatred of her can verge on gleeful, and she fears that she responds to criticism or a bizarre rumor that she is illiterate. It will fuel the fire. I went to Glee every single day. I knew my lines every single day, she said. And then there's a rumor online that I can't read or write. It's sad. It really is. Sorry, why am I laughing? I think often if I were a man, a lot of this wouldn't be the case. This is what I mean, is that she doesn't understand how to be part of the joke versus being the joke. She could have said,
you know, I haven't read about it, so I don't think it's happening.
No, she takes it really personally. Right now, Michelle said she is focused on what's in front of her, inhabiting the role, and this time doing it as a wife and mother rather than a fame-hungry former Glee Club captain. Maybe Rachel Berry would throw a fit if her performance was eligible for a Tony Award, but present-day Lea Michele insists that she isn't bothered. She's bothered. You might think that the biggest piece of bullshit that I'm going to say to you all day, Michelle said, using the stronger version of the word, but I really don't care about that at this point. It's just being able to play this part. And that is the end of the article. Darlings, let me know what you think, and if you like shows and movies and self-development in a very magical way, this channel is for you. So please go ahead and subscribe. The more subscribers I have, the more I'm going to earn my wings. But this is the last, hopefully, girl, this is the last sort of dramatic video I want to do. Reading that article made me feel a certain type of way, and it just doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, darlings, if you want to hang out with me a bit more, I am on Instagram and TikTok, Care Off Book. And until next time, take care, darling.